Hi everyone, here is your teacher Wilson, and today I'm going to show you how we start working with HTML. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is how HTML syntax works. So, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to open brackets and then I'm going to go to File and then New, and I already created this document here. So, uh, how we start with this? So, HTML is basically a bunch of text together. HTML is not more than a text document. So, in this document contains elements, and these elements have content inside. So, that's how the browser knows what elements to render and how to render those elements. So, how do we create an element actually? An element has an open tag, a closing tag, and content inside. So, for example, I'm going to create a paragraph element here. So, I'm going to create the content first so you can see how it works. So, I'm going to type the typical hello world, right? I'm going to save this document first. So I'm going to go click save, and I'm going to save it as index.html. So what's going to happen here, if I click save, I can see that I have the HTML extension, and then brackets has this button here, which is called live preview. So if I click here, this window is gonna open, and I can see that I have hello world. Now, what I can see here is just plain text. Why? Because the document doesn't have any tags yet. So let's say I want this hello world to be a paragraph, which is a typical element that we will see during this class. This is how you create a paragraph element, or in this case, any element. You start with the left angle sign, then you will see that we have a bunch of options here, like brackets gives us a lot of options to choose from. In this case, I'm just gonna type P, which is the paragraph element, and then I'm gonna do the right element, and as you can see, brackets completed my element. So I have basically an opening tag right now, which is this one here, with the character in the middle between these two um, brackets. Then I have a closing tag, which is basically the only difference is the forward slash here, and I have my element. Now, brackets doesn't really know that I have this um, text here. So the only thing that I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna select my text, cut it, and then I'm gonna paste it inside. So if I save this, nothing really happened on the browser side on your left. Why? Because the paragraph element is basically the most plain text that you can find or you can have in your HTML element or your HTML document. So it's not gonna change that much. Now, what happens if I change this element from a paragraph element to a heading element? I can do this. I can select the character within the opening tag, and I'm going to change it to a H1. So notice right away, brackets know that I have an opening tag that is a H1, but my closing tag is different. So basically that's why this portion of the closing tag was marked as red. Why? Because it's saying, hey, you have this opening tag, you have to close it. And it seems like you don't have the right um, tag to do that, or the right character to close the tag. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that to an H1, save it, and you will see if we refresh, you will see the hello world has changed. Again, because the browser has certain specifications on how to render an H1. It has to be big and it has to be bold. So that's how you render a document, or at least that's the browser rendering the document. Okay, so this is how basically most of the tags are gonna look like, or most of the elements. Again, they're gonna have a opening tag, they're gonna have a closing tag, and they're gonna have elements in the middle or content in the middle, and that's what we call an element.